Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, who's going to buy I'm from government and I'm here to help, right? I mean, I can see that. Yeah, I know. Let's just face it, I'm a farm girl from western Nebraska. I still own part of the family farm. It's dryland wheat, so I know what a struggle is, trying to make a living off that, and my brother's done a great job on that. And in fact, he adopted minimal till, no-till practices over 15 years ago and has had the patience to stick with it. So I know what the journey is like, and when I was driving up here today, it reminded me of following my dad around to cooperative extension field days, where we weren't inside, it was always outside on hay bales, and I went for the donuts. So it's nice to have muffins, but I'm a donut girl myself. So thank you all for being here today, and thank you for what you do on a daily basis. I told Richard I cannot walk into a room without acknowledging what a difficult year this has been and how much more difficult it is going to be. It's hard to sleep at night to think about the impacts that are happening because of our supply chain issues, which we're working on every day. We just had another call this week with USDA on the issues. We convinced them to do this pop-up container site in Oakland. It's had its hiccups. It's getting closer. We've got ships there waiting, so we know containers are going to start to move, but this is a big backlog. And so we'll just keep at it and do the best that we can, working with all of you. And then to have the water situation that we have, especially here in the North State, this is going to be a situation that, as far as I know in our history, we've not had this kind of drought in this area with the lack of water. And it is critically important for all of California because this is our origin water. This is where transfer water comes from if there's going to be transfer water available. And it is because of leadership. And it's leadership of water managers, but water managers work for grower boards of directors in our water districts. And it is that leadership that came together over the last few weeks on voluntary agreements. Everybody's giving something, but for me, it's one of those transformations. I know that we're coasting on the fumes of what people did 50 and 60 years ago. And I think this new governance structure, which is collaborative, in problem solving, in adaptive management, learning from the science, having the freedom to do pilot projects to learn from that. I think that is the new paradigm for the future, and I think it will go down in history books as a tribute to leaders who had a vision and knew they might not be around to see how it worked, and that's why I'm so optimistic about our future. I'm also optimistic about our future because Sunday night, I went to speak to the FFA convention, the first in-person convention in 2.5 years, but I'd been waiting for 3.5 years to say these words. Welcome to downtown Sacramento. May the Blue Jacket takeover begin. And the only thing that's sad about it is that most of downtown Sacramento is still closed, but there were 6,000 students in corduroy jackets. And if anything's going to make your heart sing, it's listening to them, watching them, knowing their energy, their exuberance, and welcoming them to the future of agriculture and the careers in agriculture. And so I'm going to touch on a few investments. Cindy kind of stole my show, but I'm glad she did. It can't just be me talking about these are opportunities, and we want to know how they're working. We know that the more we can simplify the application process, it's going to help. We want to know how we can be with you to collect the data so that we can expand and scale up these programs. Healthy soils and climate-smart agriculture has captured the attention of members of the legislature who continue to cooperate with Governor Newsom with the proposals that he's made. $75 million for our Healthy Soils program this year. We've just closed that grant period. We have $85 million for next year. I'm going to be in there asking for more, as long as I can keep that program oversubscribed. It marries very well with our on-farm water use efficiency program, SWEEP. SWEEP was our first climate-smart agriculture program. It was created in 2014 as we entered that drought, and we were able to, for the first time, do a calculation of improved efficiency of pumping, reduces energy use, which is how we calculate the emission reductions of greenhouse gas, but it's also saving water. And these two programs marry together very well. It's hard to imagine that the almond growers of California could save even more water than they already have, regardless of what the headlines will tell you. The fact that this industry, over 85%, is on micro-irrigation techniques of some kind, that you've already saved 33% applied water over the last 20 plus years, and yet you set a goal to improve your water use efficiency by 20% more. And we are finding that with improved water use efficiency, it improves your nutrient management efficiency, and it improves your productivity, especially when it's combined with these kinds of soil health practices. So I'm excited to learn a little bit from you all today. I'm going to stay around for just a little bit before I head back to Sacramento. But there's a couple things I want to talk about with regard to our budget and seek your help and your input, because the Almond Board of California is a terrific partner. I know a lot of your government relations work is handled by Almond Alliance and others. But as we head into this budget, there's a few things I want to call to your attention. That is these increased proposals, another $50 million for the water use efficiency program. 2 weeks ago, the governor announced he wanted to put another $20 million into that program. We have our Sustainable Ag Land Conservation Program that always has about $100 million a year for those families that are interested in easements. We have the Farmer Program for engine replacement programs over at the Air Resources Board, over $300 million available for that. For the Central Valley in particular, where we're phasing out ag burning, $185 million to provide the equipment for that. But one of those beautiful secrets in the budget, and I'm surprised Cindy didn't talk about this and ask for more, the governor proposed $50 million to the California State University system for the 4 university farms, which includes Chico. Now, $50 million sounds like a lot of money, and it is, and this is a really nice facility, but some of the facilities on our university farms are showing their age. And if we want our students to be the latest learners and then teachers and adopters of the latest science and technology, the equipment and the facilities are going to matter. So it wouldn't hurt my feelings at all if people were to advocate for plussing that up just a little bit. One of the other things that happened last year with leadership from Senator Laird and a lot of people in agriculture, we finally, for the first time, restored funding to cooperative extension. And I give huge kudos to the CSU Ag School deans and Dr. Glenda Humiston for creating really strong, robust partnerships. We restored almost $34 million to that budget. And just in the last month or so, another 48 positions are out there. Glenda's listening to the industry to see where the needs are. It's not always about what we've always had. It's about being forward-leaning to make sure we've got the technical assistance available to support the adaptation that we know is going to be necessary. The last thing I want to talk about is the importance of technical assistance. Almond Board does a terrific job. We want to partner with you, but our resource conservation districts, our long-time deep partnership with NRCS, how do we take those federal dollars and our dollars and make them more readily available and easier to use in a seamless kind of way? We've invested over $11 million since 2014 into technical assistance providers, and we're committed to continue to do that. The last thing I want to do, can I make a plea? Since I started with FFA, I brought some flyers. If you don't have an ag license plate on your vehicle, it's the easiest way for you to support ag education. FFA, 4-H, ag in the classroom, it's easy to do. If everybody did that, we could have even more investment in the future, and I would appreciate anyone that hasn't gotten one of those to consider doing that. I'm going to stick around for a while, and I'm happy to take questions, but I think I've already used up my time. Great. Thanks for giving me some time. I appreciate it. Working together.
Working together.
We'll do that.
Okay.
Go on.
Thanks, Secretary.